Welcome to Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Prelim Sprint 2022, where we will be telling you the most important topics for UPSC Prelims, what you need to learn to crack this year's Prelims exam. So before that, we're informing you that we're conducting All India Free Prelims UPSC mock test. Two of these tests have already taken place on 17th April and on 24th of April. The next one is on 1st May. The test is entirely free of cost and it will be conducted in a simulated environment. That is, at 9:30 AM your GS paper will start, just like it will be starting on UPSC Prelims date, and at 2:30 PM your CSAT paper will begin. So just like the UPSC environment, it is both available in offline. You can come to our coaching institute in Chandigarh and take the test in written, or you can take it in the online mode also. There is a link available in the description below. You can register yourself from there. So as you know that yesterday we discussed the important constitutional amendments. We took amendments from 2001 to 2022, which were important from prelims point of view. Today is the second second discussion for that continuation of that series. Today we will be covering all the amendments that have taken place to constitution after independence. Yesterday we started from recent to backwards. We went from 2022 to 2001, and today we will be starting from independence and we will be covering the year till 2000. So 1947 to the year 2000. This we will be covering today, and in the date wise, serial wise order we will be covering. The you can download the PDF for this presentation from the link in the description below. After this video finishes, it will be available then. It will take you to a Telegram channel and from there you can download the PDF. So the first one is the First Amendment Act 1951. A very small question in 2019 prelims was asked by UPSC that under whose prime ministership the First Amendment was brought. So it was brought in 1951 and obviously the prime minister was Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. The important part about this amendment that you have to remember is that it added 9th schedule to the constitution and it gave parliament the rights to ensure more equity in the nation. Constitution तो बन गया था, पर पार्लियामेंट को ये रियलाइज़ हुआ, गवर्नमेंट को ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि इक्विटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज सिक्योर करने के लिए हमें ज़मींदारी को अबॉलिश करना पड़ेगा, हमें लैंड रिफॉर्म्स लाने पड़ेंगे. वील हैव टू अबॉलिश ज़मींदारी, वील हैव टू ब्रिंग लैंड रिफॉर्म्स. एंड बार बार अगर जुडिशरी इंटरवीन करेगी, because a lot of constitutional amendments will have to be carried out for that. So उस रूट को बाईपास करने के लिए और जुडिशरी की इंटरफेरेंस कम करने के लिए ये अमेंडमेंट लाई गई थी. इट मेड चेंजेस इन आर्टिकल 13 ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इन राइट टू इक्वालिटी, राइट टू फ्रीडम, नॉट इन आर्टिकल 13, आर्टिकल 31 in those parts which are in consonance with directive principles of state policy. तो directive principles of state policy को ज़्यादा बढ़ावा देने के लिए ये amendment लाई गई थी कि एक equitable order ensure किया जा सके. So all you have to remember from here is that it empowered the state to make special provisions for the advancement of socially and economically backward classes. When you see from प्रिलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से जो आपका लेटेस्ट चीज़ चल रही है कि फंडामेंटल राइट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है या डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स इंपॉर्टेंट है, फंडामेंटल राइट्स जस्टिसेबल हैं या डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स जस्टिसेबल हैं. सो वॉट एवर इज़ द रीसेंट स्टेटस ऑफ एनी एक्ट, एनी फंडामेंटल राइट और एनीथिंग इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, दैट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट. एक अमेंडमेंट ने क्या चेंज लाया वो आपको याद नहीं रखना है. अमेंडमेंट ब्रॉडली कब आई थी, कौन सी अमेंडमेंट का क्या सब्जेक्ट मैटर था. यू जस्ट हैव टू रिमेंबर द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ ईच अमेंडमेंट एंड व्हेन वर दे ब्रॉट अप एंड व्हाट वर द कंडीशंस प्रिवेलिंग देम दैट टाइम. फॉर एग्जांपल प्राइम मिनिस्टर का क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया था तो हो सकता है ऐसे ही कुछ और भी पूछ लिया जाए. सो डोंट फ्रीक आउट ओवर learning these amendments. Just whatever is being discussed here, just remember that. So 9th schedule was added and 9th schedule was saved from judicial scrutiny कि 9th schedule को judiciary touch नहीं कर सकता है. Then we had this केशव नंदा भारती case. हमने important judgments में भी discuss किया था that केशव नंदा भारती case में basic structure establish हुआ था. And IR कोहेलो case में the Supreme Court gave the verdict that yes, 9th schedule can be put under judicial scrutiny if any act of parliament और state legislature जो कि 9th schedule में डाला गया है वो basic structure को infringe करता है. So read all this in connection with each other. कहाँ से आया था 9th schedule? First amendment से, and it saved all the laws included in 9th schedule from judicial review. So this was the intention. The next one is 7th Amendment Act of 1956. Not to worry about this very much. जो हमारी states की classification थी independence के बाद, we had a classification of states as Part A, Part B, Part C and Part D states में divided थी. जो प्री इंडिपेंडेंस एरा था उसके बाद इंडिपेंडेंस एरा के टाइम पर ऐसी डिवीजन आ गई थी. सो आफ्टर रिकमेंडेशंस ऑफ मैनी कमेटीज एंड सीइंग कि यार की रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स नीड्स टू बी कैरिड आउट, दिस 7th अमेंडमेंट एक्ट ऑफ 1956 was brought and this was abolished the existing classification of states into 4 categories and reorganized them into 14 states and 6 union territories. And what were the grounds? Linguistic grounds पर reorganize किया गया था states को. So you have to remember the amendment, the number of amendment which brought up this act. Again under the prime ministership of Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. And this is like subsidiary points. Just remember that it extended the jurisdiction of high court. अब एकदम से इतने high courts तो नहीं बन सकते थे. So it was decided that one high court can have jurisdiction over 2 or more states or union territories. So extended the jurisdiction of high courts to union territories. And it provided for the establishment of a common high court for 2 or more states. In Punjab and Haryana, we have just one high court common to both the states. Till date, earlier they were united. ये जो Part A, B, C, D classification के under. Till date, we just have one high court for both the states. So this was the act that provided for establishment of a common high court for 2 or more states. And it provided for the appointment of additional and acting judges of the high court, so that judges की कमी ना हो. The next one is the 24th Amendment Act of 1971. Now you should remember what was the government prevailing at that time. The government had a tendency, government की tendency थी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा power अपने control में लेने की. तो उस time के 1970s के जो भी acts हैं, starting of 1970s के 24th Amendment Act, 42nd Constitutional Amendment या 26th Constitutional Amendment, जितनी भी उस time की amendments हैं, whatever those amendments are there of starting of 1970s up till 1977, जब तक गवर्नमेंट कोलैप्स नहीं हुई तब तक कि जो भी अमेंडमेंट्स हैं, दे आर टू गेन मोर पावर ओवर पीपल और ओवर द लॉ, गेन मोर पावर ओवर दिस लॉ मेकिंग प्रोसीडर्स. सुप्रीम कोर्ट की, हाई कोर्ट्स की पावर कम की गई थी, प्रेसिडेंट की पावर कम की गई थी. पावर्स ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड प्रेसिडेंट वर डिक्रीज एंड इट वाज ensured that parliament has more power, especially the executive part, executive has more power. So ये जो 24th amendment act थी, it affirmed the power of parliament कि parliament किसी भी part of constitution को amend कर सकता है, including the fundamental rights. So Parliament decided that yes, we can infringe on the fundamental rights also. It was then in 1973 केशव नंदा भारती केस में जब decide हुआ था, then Supreme Court said that yes, you can amend fundamental rights also, but don't trample with the basic structure of constitution. So remember this in continuity. Watch the video that we have, that is the first video of the series, important judgments of Supreme Court, and watch the PDF which is there on, just download the PDF for important judgments, read those side by side. टाइमलाइन के अकॉर्डिंग याद कीजिए, तभी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होंगे. सो पार्लियामेंट, इस एक्ट के थ्रू पार्लियामेंट कुड अमेंड एनी पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इंक्लूडिंग फंडामेंटल राइट्स. So this is a question that, you know, कौन सी amendment थी? I think this has been asked also, that which amendment made it possible for the parliament to amend fundamental rights. So it was 24th amendment, and it made it compulsory for the president. Government decided, government of the day decided कि अगर हम कोई भी constitutional amendment ला रहे हैं, if we are trying to bring a constitutional amendment bill, so the president should not interfere. So it made this amendment made it compulsory for the president. president के लिए ही compulsory कर दिया कि अगर पार्लियामेंट कोई भी बिल भेजता है जो कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अमेंड करने का बिल होता है, इफ पार्लियामेंट सेंड्स एनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल टू द प्रेसिडेंट विल हैव टू से yes. This is another question, that which amendment brought this feature. So remember this, it made it compulsory for the president to give his assent to a constitutional amendment bill. And we'll see in 44th amendment, अभी हम लोग 44th amendment पढ़ेंगे थोड़े टाइम में. we'll see what was done with this part of the amendment, how it was changed by the subsequent government. Next is the 26th Amendment Act of 1971. जब independence हुई थी तो बहुत सारी princely states थी. There were many princely states, and with the efforts of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and other people from that time, it was decided all those princely rulers came together to form the यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, टू फॉर्म द डेमोक्रेटिक नेशन ऑफ इंडिया. सो इट वॉज प्रॉमिस कि उनको प्रिवी पर्सेस दिए जाएंगे. प्रिवी पर्सेस वॉज अ फिनेंशियल बेनिफिट दैट वॉज गिवन टू देम रेगुलरली, कि उनका जो प्रॉस्पेरिटी है उसमें कमी ना हो, उनकी रिस्पेक्ट में कमी ना हो. दे वर द रिस्पेक्टिव रूलर्स ऑफ द स्टेट्स. So that was a promise that was given to them at independence. But in 1971, since the tendency of the government was to have more control over the country, so privy purses were abolished in 1971, keeping in mind the fundamental rights. जो हमारा constitution के जो ideals हैं, they said that it is against the ideals of constitution. Everybody is equal, no one will get privy purses from now on. So just remember the name of the amendment, the year, and prime ministership obviously. If a question is asked again, so it abolished the privy purses and privileges of the former rulers of princely states, and you can read about privy purses here by downloading the PDF. I've already explained that. The next one is the most important. It is the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. You don't have to freak out here. 42nd Amendment Act. You can remember the years, just add 4 into it becomes 6. So you can remember कि 1976 में आई थी, 44th 1978 में आई थी. So that's how you can remember the years for this. And before that, Keshav Nanda Bharti case was in 1973. So remembering the timeline is very important when you are studying amendments and judgments in polity. So इस अमेंडमेंट के थ्रू इतनी सारे चेंजेस लाए गए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. देयर वर सो मेनी चेंजेस ब्रॉट इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन थ्रू दिस अमेंडमेंट दैट इट केम टू बी नोन एज द मिनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, कि ये तो एक मिनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही बना दिया गया है. सो इट वॉज द मोस्ट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अमेंडमेंट मेड सो फार टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इनएक्टेड बाय इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस हेडेड बाय मिसेस इंदिरा गांधी, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ दैट टाइम. एंड मिनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पार्ट इज देयर. इट गेव इफेक्ट टू द रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ स्वरण सिंह कमेटी, सरदार स्वरण सिंह कमेटी. ये कमेटी बनाई गई थी बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द डे टू रीड आउट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का एक मतलब ढूंढने के लिए, टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, स्टडी द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो दिस कमेटी recommended कि फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ होनी चाहिए. स्वरण सिंह कमेटी recommended that we should have fundamental duties which all citizens should follow. So its recommendations were given effect to through 42nd amendment. उस टाइम पर emergency थी. Emergency was in action at that time. Remember the date of emergency also if you are appearing for state civil services. What was the exact date when emergency came into effect? And it changed the it made amendments to the preamble of constitution. So let's see what were the effects of 42nd amendment one by one. So it added 3 new words, that is socialist, secular and integrity in the preamble. जो सोशलिस्ट और सेक्युलर है वो आपकी प्रियम्बल की फर्स्ट लाइन में ही आते हैं. इन द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ प्रियम्बल 2 words सोशलिस्ट एंड सेक्युलर वर एडेड, एंड टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द प्रियम्बल integrity was added. Integrity was not there in the preamble. Don't forget the word integrity. इस पे बहुत सारे questions बन सकते हैं. It added fundamental duties that had to be had to be by the citizens, and it added a new part 4A. DPSPs के part के बाद एक पार्ट DPSPs में पार्ट 4A was added DPSPs के बाद, कि DPSPs तो चलो ड्यूटीज़ ऑफ स्टेट हैं. These are the goals that the state has for the people. What are the duties that people have for the state or for the country? So that was added as part 4A. So there is a reason why it was added as part 4A and nothing like part 3A भी तो बन सकता था. So added fundamental duties to the citizens, made the president bound by the advice of the cabinet. So again it tried to have more control over the president here. So cabinet जो भी advice देगा उससे bound है president, and I think this is prevalent till date, though no amendments were made to that because no government wants to lose its power. The president, they don't want president to create any blockages in whatever they want to do. So the fourth one is it provided for administrative tribunals and tribunals for other matters. So tribunals यहाँ से functioning में आए थे. The fifth one is about sealing of seats in the Lok Sabha. You know, this government of that time, Indian National Congress under the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, it was carrying out a lot of population control measures. So it was seen कि जिस स्टेट के पास ज़्यादा population है उसको लोकसभा में ज़्यादा seats मिल जाती हैं, because लोकसभा में कितनी seats है? The seats in Lok Sabha that every state gets is dependent on the population of that state. उसके proportionality में वो seats मिलती हैं. So it was seen कि जो state ज़्यादा reproduce कर रही हैं and there are no population control measures, उनको ज़्यादा seats मिल जाती हैं. So they froze कि seats नहीं change होंगी कब तक, एक 1971 के census को माना जाएगा. 1971 census would be taken into account to see how many seats have to be allocated to each state, and this was a provision till 2001, and later on also this was extended by further amendments. Again it was made like 2001 का जो census था that was made given effect to, but more or less the status has remained the same, and now in 2026 a new amendment will be brought up to change the number of seats allocated to every state. Again made the constitutional amendments beyond judicial scrutiny. So before, earlier whatever amendment was there, 24th amendment के through president was bound to give assent to constitutional amendment, and through this judiciary was also pushed out that constitutional amendments will not be under the scrutiny of judiciary. Again it curtailed the power of judicial review and writ jurisdiction of Supreme Court and High Court. Only important parts have to be remembered here, not the entire thing. It raised the tenure of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. This was brought down by 44th amendment. 44th amendment में it was decided कि नहीं 5 साल ही रहेगा, 6 साल तक नहीं करेंगे. Provided that the laws made for the implementations of DPSPs cannot be declared invalid by the courts on the ground of violation of some fundamental rights. When you will read parts of chapters related to fundamental rights in DPSPs, where you have Article 31 B and C, there is a detailed procedure given that where DPSPs will dominate and where fundamental rights will dominate, and this is where it all started, especially after the First Amendment and then the 42nd Amendment. So, empowered the Parliament to make laws to deal with anti-national activities, and such laws are to take precedence over fundamental rights. So, this was a very strict measure. It added 3 new directive principles. This question has also been asked that which are the new directive principles that were added later, which were not there in the constitution. So whenever you're reading DPSPs, read them objectively. Just remember कौन सी amendment ने कौन सा DPSP add किया है. Such questions have been asked by UPSC time and again. So what equal justice and free legal aid, इनके articles भी याद कीजिएगा when you are going through DPSPs. Participation of workers in the management of industries and protection of environment, forest and wildlife. These were the 3 new DPSPs that were added by this amendment, 42nd constitutional amendment. It facilitated the proclamation of national emergency in a part or territory of India. So if the government wanted कि सिर्फ एक ही state में हमें national emergency लगानी है, that was allowed through this amendment. So next one is extended the one-time duration of president's rule in the state from 6 months to 1 year. So again ensuring more power over states कि president rule लगा देंगे तो we can have more control over that state for longer time. Empowered the center to deploy its armed forces in any state to deal with the grave situation of law and order. Shifted 5 subjects from the state list to the concurrent list, means union government भी law बना पाएगी in subjects के ऊपर. What were these? Remember this 15th point. This is very important from examination point of view. What are these five ones? Education, concurrent subject forest, protection of wild animals and birds. DPSP में add किया गया था protection of environment, forest and wildlife. That was added as a new DPSP, and as a new subject here concurrent list में shift कर दिया गया protection of wild animals and birds, weights and measures, and administrative of justice, constitution and organization of all courts except the Supreme Court and High Courts, especially obviously to have separation of judiciary and executive. So did away with the requirement of quorum in the parliament. कितने भी लोग आए parliament में, state legislatures में, the proceedings will go on. So this was again cancelled by 44th amendment. It empowered the parliament to decide from time to time the rights and privileges of its members and committees. Still the parliament has this power to decide on the rights and privileges of members and committees. Provided for the creation of All India Judicial Service. This has not come into activation till date. We always say that we need an All India Judicial Service, but this is where it all started, and till date we do not have this AIJS. In fact, we have a lot of vacancy of judges. We have less number of judges, but still we do not have this in place. It shortened the procedure for disciplinary action by taking away the right of a civil servant to make representation at the second stage after the inquiry. This is a very legal term. Questions will not be asked from here. So just read it broadly. 44th Amendment. Background again the same, previous government ही, whatever the previous government was there, that was from Indian National Congress. Now we had a coalition and जनता government आई थी power में around in 1978 and it decided कि जितने भी previous amendments लाई गई हैं पिछली government, whatever the amendments have been brought up by previous government to have more control over state governments, over president, over judiciary, those powers have to be curtailed. First of all, so 44th amendment was introduced to provide adequate safeguards against the recurrence of the tendency of state to take over the fundamental rights. So in 42nd amendment we saw कि fundamental rights भी infringe हो रहे थे. So now this was done away with by the transient majority in the future and to ensure that the people to the people an effective voice in determining the form of government under which they are to live. This act also nullified various previous provisions that were brought into the Indian Constitution as new articles or as amendments by 42nd Amendment Act. So these two amendments are very important and this was enacted by the Janata government. First of all, it restored the original term of the Lok Sabha, as I said earlier. 6 years किया था 42nd Amendment ने लोक सभा और स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर्स का टेन्योर, 44th ने 5 years कर दिया था. It restored the provisions with regard to quorum, that quorum is very much required. What is the quorum that we need in state legislatures and Lok Sabha for a proceeding to be carried out? That is your homework. Ensure you know it before you sit for prelims. Omitted the reference to the British House of Commons in the provisions pertaining to parliamentary privileges. So parliamentary privileges के लिए जितने भी हम reference देते थे British House of Commons से कि वहाँ से लेंगे, that was omitted. So gave constitutional protection to publication in newspaper of true reports of the proceedings of the parliament and state legislatures, that can be, these proceedings can be published. Empowered the president to send back once the advice of cabinet. 42nd amendment made it compulsory for the president to agree to whatever cabinet is saying. Cabinet ने कुछ भी भेज दिया, president will have to say yes to that. But this amendment brought in that president can send back once the advice of cabinet for reconsideration, but the reconsidered advice is not to be binding on the president. It deleted the provision which made satisfaction of the president, governor and administrator final in issuing ordinances. We live in a democracy. An executive authority cannot decide, cannot make laws, cannot make final laws. Restored some of the powers of Supreme Courts and High Courts, whatever were taken by previous amendments. Not all powers were restored, some of the powers were restored, but again judiciary has its own ways. Important judgments were brought in and then judiciary interprets in its own ways and like it protects the constitution successfully. So replace the term internal disturbance by armed rebellion कि armed rebellion होगा तभी आप national emergency invoke कर सकते हैं. There are two more ways to declare national emergency, but armed rebellion was replaced. Internal disturbance was replaced by armed rebellion. It made the president to declare a national emergency only on the written recommendation of cabinet. So president cannot by its own measure decide that yes, I want to have a national emergency in place. Cabinet written में देगा. Cabinet will give this in writing to president, only then national emergency can be brought in. It made certain procedural safeguards with respect to national emergency and president's rule, deleted the right to property. Important, earlier right to property was a fundamental right, then through this amendment it was made a legal right, a constitutional right in like Article 300A. Provided that the fundamental rights guaranteed by Article 20 and 21, right to life, cannot be suspended even during a national emergency. So this was a breakthrough moment that these rights can never be suspended. We live in a democracy which is by the people, for the people, to the people. By invoking a national emergency, these rights cannot be taken. Omitted the provisions which took away the power of the court to decide the election disputes of the president, vice president. So this was brought by one of the amendments कि election disputes अगर होते हैं कि president के election में कोई problem आ गई, vice president के election में, so the judiciary cannot intervene. So that provision was omitted. Next is 52nd Amendment Act. See, defection was a very big problem in before this act was brought in 1985. It was brought by the Rajiv Gandhi government under the leadership of Rajiv Gandhi. He was the one who moved the bill himself in the parliament. So defection is a problem because, as you know, voters, you choose your leader, then that leader is from a particular political party when you are choosing them. and when they go into power they used to change parties. There was an incident कि एक ही MP और MLA ने एक ही दिन में 3 पार्टीज चेंज कर ली थी. तो दिस वॉज अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम in those times before 1985. So this act was brought in, this constitutional amendment was brought in. So it used to undermine the stability of the government. That's why this amendment has to be brought in. This added a new schedule, that was 10th schedule to the constitution. Earlier we had 10th schedule that decided how Sikkim will be ruled. Sikkim se related 10th schedule tha, that was omitted when Sikkim was given statehood. Then again this 10th schedule was brought, that was related to anti-defection. So it provided for disqualification of MPs and state legislatures on the MLAs on the ground of defection, and added this new schedule. And this act, we've already done the 91st amendment yesterday, that how this separation or merger of parties or breaking of parties, that was done away with, और ministers की post पर appoint नहीं किया जा सकता था defectors को after 91st amendment. So this 52nd amendment was strengthened. इसको और power मिली 91st amendment of 2003 के बाद. Go back to yesterday's lecture if you've not watched that, download the PDF and read 91st amendment for yourself. Next was 73rd Amendment Act of 1992 and 74th Amendment of 1992. So we had panchayats and municipalities before 1992 also, but panchayats का जो functioning था, local governments का जो functioning था rural areas में और urban areas में, that was not consistent all over India. क्योंकि होता क्या है, when panchayats are functioning तो state subjects हैं, state list है हमारे पास, तो state subjects जो होते हैं वो कुछ पंचायत के पास चले जाते हैं, कुछ powers होती है वो पंचायत के पास चली जाती है. So states were not willing कि हम उनको states were not willing to give monetary powers to panchayats, which is still the case, and not to give administrative powers also, they were not willing. So this act, these two acts were brought in. 73rd Amendment Act of 1992 को लाया गया कि जो rural areas में हम पंचायत्स बनाएंगे उनके कुछ delineated subjects होंगे, some subjects will be given, and उसकी जो administrative authority है वो सिर्फ पंचायत्स के पास रहेगी, and financial resources भी assure किए गए पंचायत्स के लिए. Financial resources were assured for panchayats and through this act. So this was a breakthrough moment, it was a breakthrough amendment to empower the local government, 3 tiers, central, state and local. So local government को empower करने के लिए, citizens को और rights और उनके पास power देने के लिए these two acts were brought in, 73rd and 74th amendment. We have a DPSP in place, it is Article 40, which says that the government shall facilitate the establishment and smooth functioning of the Gram Panchayat. So in case if it is asked that 73rd amendment gave effect to which of the directive principles of state policy, so you have that in place. So this granted constitutional status and protection to Panchayati Raj institutions. For this purpose, Part 9, which was entitled as the Panchayats, was added. 11th schedule was added, 10th schedule was about anti-defection, 11th schedule was added, which contained 29 functional subjects of panchayats. Functional items यानी subjects दिए गए, जैसे state list, concurrent list होती है. Here 29 subjects were allocated to panchayats, that this is their administrative area. The act empowered state governments to take the necessary steps that would lead to the formalization of the Gram Panchayats and help them operate as units of self-governance. So it was made the duty of the state governments को empower किया गया कि आप पंचायत बनाइए, ग्राम पंचायत बनाइए और उनकी functioning में जो भी चीज़ें required हैं वो आप assure कीजिए. So again we had a similar act, 74th Amendment Act of 1992. This was for urban areas, local government in urban areas. इस act के through municipalities को या local government in urban areas को constitutional status मिला. Constitutional status was given to urban local bodies, and there is a list of urban local bodies. If you go through 74th Amendment Act of 1992, go through that before you sit for prelims, that what are the constitutionally recognized urban local bodies. It added Part 9A. Part 9 was added by 73rd Amendment. Part 9A was added by 74th Amendment. 11th schedule was added by the previous one, 73rd, and 12th schedule was added by this 74th Amendment. And it is known as the, Part 9A is titled as the municipalities. All organizations, all the bodies that will be formed under these acts are defined in these schedules or under these parts of constitution which were enacted by 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts. Go through them, broadly go through them. Questions are asked from these areas also. And unlike This 73rd gave 29 functional items to panchayats, while 74th amendment gave only 18 functional items to the municipalities. So this is about today. This was about the important amendments to the constitution that have happened till date. We have completed this topic. Go through it again and again, at least download the PDF. Whatever is written here, that is very important from examination point of view. Whatever has been discussed here, just remember all that. And polity questions आसानी से हो जाएंगे with whatever we are covering here. Keep working hard, complete your syllabus, revise again and again, and all the best.